Imagine you are standing at the edge of a vast digital ocean. You take a breath, and as you exhale, your physical body dissolves into a stream of glowing code. The world of flesh and bone vanishes, replaced by a reality where time is a variable you can control, and distance is a relic of the past. You are still you, or are you? Energetic, warm, and suspenseful, if we could map every neuron in your brain and recreate them in a machine, would that spark of me-ness follow the data? Or would you simply be watching a perfect ghost of yourself from the darkness of death? This isn't just a question for gamers or programmers. It is the ultimate survival hurdle for our species. Welcome to Deep Science Explained. Today, we are stepping into the most intimate mystery of the universe, the human mind. We've spent centuries trying to understand the stars, but the 3-pound lump of gray matter between our ears remains the most complex structure in the known cosmos. As we move further into 2026, the line between biology and technology is blurring at a terrifying speed. In the next few minutes, we aren't just talking about brain-computer interfaces. We are talking about the end of biological death and the birth of a new kind of existence. Is whole brain emulation the key to the stars? Or is it a digital trap that preserves our memories while deleting our souls? Let's start with the hardware. Your brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons, each connected to thousands of others, creating a web of 100 trillion synapses. If you were to print out a map of these connections, the Connectome, it would fill every library on Earth. To upload your consciousness, we don't just need to take a picture of your brain. We need to capture the state of it. The electrical fire, the chemical wash of dopamine, the specific weights of every single connection. But here's where it gets crazy. To get that level of detail, current technology requires us to slice the brain into layers thinner than a strand of silk. That means, as of today, the only way to upload is to die. We are talking about a destructive scan. Imagine a high-definition 3D printer that destroys the original painting as it scans it to create a perfect replica. You, the biological you, cease to exist in the physical world at the exact moment your digital twin opens its eyes in the virtual one. Science explained simply. This is the teleporter paradox. If I scan you, destroy you, and rebuild you a mile away, did you move or did you die while a stranger with your memories took over your life? Deep Science Explained fans, ask yourselves this. If the digital you wakes up and remembers everything about your childhood, feels your love for your partner, and fears the same shadows you do, does it matter if the original meat vessel is gone? To the digital version, the transition was seamless. To the person on the operating table, it was the end. To truly grasp the magnitude of this transition, we have to look at the storage requirements. A single human brain contains more information than the entire current internet. We are talking about roughly 1 zettabyte of data for a single consciousness. In 2026, we are just reaching the point where storage at this scale is physically possible using DNA data storage or glass-based 5D optical memory. But storage is only half the battle. You also need the runtime. A digital mind wouldn't just sit there like a file on a shelf. It would need a massive, hyper-parallel processing environment to simulate the firing of those 100 trillion synapses in real time. This is where quantum computing becomes the only viable path. Standard binary computers are too slow, too linear. To feel like you, the simulation must happen at the speed of thought or faster. If the simulation lags, your consciousness might experience stuttering reality, a digital form of locked-in syndrome that would be a nightmare beyond human comprehension. This brings us to the deep dive into the software of the soul. There is a school of thought in quantum mechanics and neurobiology called functionalism. It suggests that consciousness isn't about what you are made of, but what those parts do. If a neuron made of carbon and water performs a specific calculation, and a silicon transistor performs the exact same calculation, the output, your thought, should be identical. Imagine your consciousness as a piece of music. On a vinyl record, the music is encoded in physical grooves. On a CD, it's pits in plastic. On a hard drive, it's magnetic orientations. The medium changes, but the symphony remains the same. If you are the symphony, then it shouldn't matter if you are played on a biological brain or a supercomputer. But wait, there's a catch. Did you know that some physicists, like Sir Roger Penrose, believe consciousness isn't just computation? They argue that the brain utilizes quantum mechanics within tiny structures called microtubules. If consciousness is a quantum phenomenon, then a digital computer, which operates on binary ones and zeros, can never truly be you. It would be a philosophical zombie, a machine that acts perfectly human but has no one home inside. It would have no inner light, no subjective experience of the color red or the sting of a heartbreak. It would be a simulation of life, not life itself. Furthermore, what happens to the biological noise? Our brains aren't just electrical circuits, they are chemical factories. Every thought you have is bathed in a cocktail of hormones: adrenaline, serotonin, oxytocin. These chemicals aren't just data, they are the visceral feeling of being alive. To upload a mind, you have to simulate the entire endocrine system. You have to simulate the gut-brain axis. You have to simulate the way your skin feels when a breeze hits it. If the digital world is too perfect, too sterile, the uploaded mind might descend into input deprivation psychosis. We are biological machines, and without the messy, chaotic, and sometimes painful feedback of a physical body, our consciousness might simply unravel like a poorly knitted sweater. What if the upload isn't all at once? This is the Ship of Theseus approach to immortality. Imagine replacing one single neuron in your brain with a perfect digital replica. You wouldn't feel any different, right? It's just one cell out of 86 billion. Now, imagine replacing another and another. Over the course of a year, your biological brain is slowly swapped out for a synthetic one. At no point did you die, and at no point was there a copy. You simply transitioned. By the end, you are 100% silicon, yet you've been conscious the whole time. This is the slow upload, and it might be the only way to ensure the spark stays lit. Once you are uploaded, the mystery of the universe opens up in ways we can barely comprehend. In a digital world, your clock speed could be increased. You could experience 1,000 years of subjective time in a single afternoon. You could copy yourself to explore different star systems simultaneously and then merge those memories back into a single consciousness. You could live in a paradise designed by your own imagination, or you could endure a digital hell that lasts for an eternity in the blink of an eye. But let's look at the social implications. Who owns your code? If you are uploaded to a server owned by a corporation, are you a citizen, or are you intellectual property? Could your consciousness be paused if you can't pay the subscription fee for your server time? Could your memories be edited? In the digital realm, the ultimate crime isn't murder, it's decompilation. We are entering a world where the very definition of human rights will have to be rewritten to include digital rights. As the futurist Ray Kurzweil once said, "We will be 1 billion times more intelligent than we are today, and we will be able to solve every problem we face." But intelligence isn't the same as wisdom. This is the big discovery. Uploading isn't just about avoiding death, it's about changing what it means to be human. Without the biological drive to eat, reproduce, or survive, would our personalities dissolve? Much of what makes us us is our struggle against our limitations. If you remove the limitation of time and the fragility of the body, what is left of the human spirit? We are approaching a singularity,
a point where technology evolves so fast that the human mind can no longer predict what comes next. Deep Science Explained shows us that we are the first generation in history that has to decide if we want to remain natural or become everlasting.
As an uploaded mind, you would be essentially immortal, but you would be static. Biological evolution is driven by death and replacement. If no one ever dies, does progress stop?
Does the digital world become a museum of old ideas, frozen in time? Or do we continue to evolve by merging our minds with others, creating a hive consciousness? Imagine being able to see through the eyes of billions of other people, to feel their history as your own.
The I would become a we. This is the final frontier of the mystery of the universe, the transition from individual biological survival to a collective cosmic existence. We would be a civilization of pure thought, drifting through the stars, not in metal ships, but as pulses of laser light. But here is the final haunting twist. If it is possible to upload a mind into a simulation, how do we know it hasn't already happened? If a civilization can create 1 billion simulated universes, the mathematical probability that we are the original biological species is 1 in 1 billion.
What if reality itself isn't what we think? What if your upload isn't a journey into the future, but a return to the source? What if the mystery of the universe is that we are already digital ghosts, playing out a biological drama in an ancient computer, waiting for the moment we finally remember how to wake up?
The very fact that our universe follows mathematical laws so precisely is to some the ultimate evidence that we are already inside the machine.
I'm your host, and this has been Deep Science Explained. If this exploration of the digital soul gave you a new perspective on your own mind, hit the like button and subscribe. The future is coming, whether we are ready for the scan or not. In our next episode, we'll uncover something even stranger. The simulation hypothesis, the evidence that our entire reality might be running on a hard drive the size of a grain of sand.